What's up, humans? Welcome to a new Psicoactivo. It's safe to say that it's been a wild 48 hours. I thought I was pretty clear on my last two videos, but apparently not. And debunkers came at me saying that I am not a legit source. I'm just a journalist. I'm not claiming to be a scientist or someone from the government. I'm not claiming that. I just, since I started this work, people who have connections to the government and to intelligence communities and to science like my work. They have resonated with it, and they have reached out to me to talk and communicate and try to figure out together what's going on. And when I released my video, I was very clear that this is information that has been told to me. I don't know whether it's real or not. And I just talked about something that has been a rumor for many years. But the new thing that I saw, and the reason I decided, alongside my source that told me about this, that it would be important to put it out, is the fact that people in Congress have been briefed about what I told you about James Webb. I've learned a lot of new things during the last week that I think I need to address. I want to address something first. The debunkers that have been coming at me, if you guys have good faith and trying to be respectful while engaging me, I will gladly respond to you and tell you what my real deal is. I am not saying that this object is coming here. Frankly, I don't believe it is. I don't know what the James Webb Telescope's full capabilities are. I know that there are missions James Webb has that are classified. That is a fact. About the capabilities, I don't really understand much of it. I am a journalist, as I told you, and I got information from someone who has contact with people in Congress, the Control Disclosure Movement, and the IC and aerospace companies. This person has contact with all of them. And this person gave me this information. And the reason he felt that it was newsworthy for my viewers and for everyone was because he was also confused to why it's being told to people in Congress. And we want to know who's the one telling them this, why this person is telling them this information, whether it's real or not, we don't know. I incline myself to believe it's probably not real, but we need to check it, vet it, and come up with the best explanation to why this is happening. The information, not the object. People keep fixating themselves on this object and this event. I don't really care. I care about what is being talked about in Congress. I care about the overall message of this whole disclosure movement that is happening, because whether the phenomenon is real or not, the reality is that there's a lot of groups that gravitate towards this topic that have different interests, and some of them are clashing. So debunkers, please, I urge you, I am not part of the disclosure group, the control disclosure group. If you have personal issues with someone in there, that is not my problem. I have kept an eye out on everything because I have a background in media analysis. So I can't just look away. I look at everything that's happening. And I notice that there's a group of debunkers. Most of them have already came out and say that I'm a liar, that I peddle propaganda. Clearly, they didn't see my full videos about it. So if you have a personal issue with either Lou Elizondo or whoever within that group, that is not my problem. Leave me out of it, please. I am trying to find out what's going on through my own means. If I do occasionally have contact with some sources that are related to that group, that doesn't mean I'm part of it, you know? And just please, I can see that you guys have some kind of personal issue with some of these people. I don't care. Just leave me alone. Let me run my channel as I see fit. I am not messing with anyone, and I am trying to be objective all the time. And I keep repeating, I don't think this is true. It's a rumor, but it's being told to people in Congress. That I do know because I trust my source. I vetted my source. I know who this source talks to constantly. So I was confident enough to put out the information. If you tell me that I need to reveal my sources, you clearly don't know how journalism operates. I am not going to tell you who my sources are. You keep telling Ross Coulthart the same thing. He's never going to tell you who his sources are. Sorry. If these sources eventually say, okay, I want to go public with what I know, then I will gladly tell you who they are. But we got to respect people's wishes. And it is the journalist's responsibility to vet the source and the information and then decide on whether the story should be run or not. And let me tell you one more thing. The reason I chose to just tell you about this specific part of the information is because I was told like a whole story about it, and I only told you about like 10% of it because the other 90 I can't vet. There's no way of betting something that fantastical. So it would be responsible for me to tell you, yeah, I was told this, and this, without me vetting the information first. No, that's irresponsible. And I just want people to know that it is not me saying that this object is coming or potentially it's coming. I don't think it is. I want to know why this information is being told to Congress people. Why it's being taken seriously by Congress people, because they are giving their time and space to someone who is briefing them on this. What I am going to do, and I am trying to do, is to get the names of at least 2 of these Congress people. I think they are potentially staffers who heard about these briefings. I am going to vet them, get their names for myself, for my clarification, and get a statement from them. That I am trying to do. And I am going to do it over the next week, maybe 2. I'm not sure yet. That's happening. So please don't take my content out of context. I get what you did. You played a video putting together what I said on my first video and then what I said on Vetted. And you ran it as if I was claiming that. I'm not. So please stop doing that. If you want to give me credit for my content, that's cool. But if you're going to cover what I put out, please watch the entire video and do all the context on it. Don't just get sound bites or clips without the full context, because this can happen. I've been attacked by a lot of people over the last 48 hours, and it is not cool. So, I mean, I guess I was going to eventually get on Debunkers' radars, but I have nothing against anybody. I don't want to fight. I don't care. I'm just reporting news. That's all I'm doing. And if it ends up that one of these disclosure people is the one responsible for putting out this information and it is false information, I am going to be the first one to say it. But so far, there are people within the disclosure group, the controlled disclosure group, that I haven't sensed they are being untruthful. So far, I haven't. I get that Lou has personal issues with some of these people and that shit got already way out of hand. I get that. But that is different from what Lou's trying to do, going on mainstream shows and talking about the phenomenon out in the open, which hadn't happened before. So I think Lou deserves credit for that. Whatever you think about him and however you feel about him and whatever personal shit you got going on against him, I don't care. So we come from a different place. I believe and have an idea that something is going on based on literature, based on experiencers with compelling accounts of what happens to them, based on what's going on right now with the government since 2017. I think something is going on. If the phenomenon is real, which I'm starting to think it may be, I think that I should report on it. And we're coming from different places, Debunkers and I. I'm still not sure everything that's happening, but I feel compelled to report it in an objective way and in good faith if I can. I think I am. Debunkers, many of them don't show good faith. They're not respectful, and they use ridicule to debunk other people's either claims or content. And this is the only time I am going to address any of them, because that is the only time they really deserve if they're doing it in bad faith. If you're a skeptic, I welcome skeptics, respectful ones. Skepticism is needed in this topic, always. But people in bad faith that just go at you and attack you and just put you down, and those are the ones that don't really deserve any time or attention. And I would encourage everyone, whatever you see said about me in public, just ignore it. It's a waste of time. That's it. So I do have some new information that can add some context to this story. This source that has been speaking to Congress staffers, I asked what was the time frame when these unclassified briefings were taking place. They told me that they happened over the last couple of months. So we got a time frame. That's the new information I have on this right now. And the Carson story, the fact that he said no comment, Representative Andre Carson, does not mean that he knows it's happening. There are some politicians who say that just for kicks, just to annoy people, to leave them hanging. It is entirely possible he said no comment, simply meaning, just because they were in a rush. People say that just because they're in a rush and just want to get their microphone out of their face. They say that. I know that people are looking into it way more than they probably should, maybe. But we won't know for sure until Laslo asks more congresspeople about this. I already told him that he should ask whether these briefings are classified or unclassified, because he asked for classified ones, and that's not the intel I got. The intel I got is that they were unclassified. But I think it's smart to ask for both. So Laslo, thank you for asking my question, man. And thank you for being so cool always to me, and for helping us get faster to these congresspeople. I think it's very important work that you do, so kudos. The other information I have, one that I can already share from one of my sources who's an astronomer in Europe. It's just a small quote because they've been looking at the James Webb Telescope data, and he's been alongside another 3 co-workers looking at where the James Webb Telescope has been pointing at. And so far, he found something that I think it's important to share. Mr. Dan Setterstrom from that UFO podcast tweeted recently that the James Webb Telescope does have classified missions. That is true. So, my contact told me to tell you this, and I quote, "There are some strange things inside the data of the James Webb Space Telescope. Repeated calibrations, quote unquote, without following openly published data to where the telescope is pointing at. I can only conclude that certain time slots are used for covert operations. This tracks to what Dan tweeted about a few days ago, that James Webb does have some classified missions. I guess my first question would be why James Webb has classified missions? Because James Webb is supposed to be a program that was funded for the public. So you're supposed to have access to all the missions and all the data that James Webb puts out. So why are there classified missions that James Webb is doing without the people's knowledge? That would be my first guess. More of the time slots that are strange that this astronomer friend told me about is that they are currently they're a team of at least 3 people. Some are students. He's the astronomer. There are some postdocs in there, and they told me that they're gonna keep searching for clues. It is entirely possible that this data that is either missing or crossed out could be a human error. So he's gonna try. So they're gonna try to cross it out with other astronomy labs that can tell them whether it's an error or not. It is entirely possible that it is just an error. But if it's not, my astronomer friend believes that it could be covert operations. So there's that. Also, they're telling me that they are working on giving me a visualization of the tracking of the telescope. They don't know when this is happening, when they're giving me that data, but as soon as they give it to me, I will give it to you so you guys can help out and investigate this. One of the people on that team is working on that right now, on getting the visualization. The data is always extremely scarce to begin with. It is literally calibration, coordinates, time, apogee, and that's that. So it's going to take a little time to get it all out. At the very least, what they have discovered is an issue with the James Webb Telescope that we can tell either NASA or their specialists to fix. That's at the very least. So we need to stay on top of this. And I am. So yeah, I hope that I was clear enough, especially to those who have slandered me and ridiculed me over the last 48 hours. I am trying to get to the truth, whatever that is. I don't care. And for now, I think that rumor is a rumor, and we should treat it as such. So everybody who got really excited and talking about this doomsday scenario, please dial it back a little bit. We are definitely not there. I don't think we'll be there. And I don't think that's what's going on. So maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. But right now, there's no evidence to support that this is happening, actually. I'm just telling you what's being talked about within the walls of Congress. And I want to know why, and who's doing it, and what's the reason they're doing it. That's it. I hope I was clear enough. You can clip this with context. Please do. So, if you like the content you see, consider subscribing. It's been pretty wild over the last 48 hours. Thank you guys. The messages on my channel are generally really positive, so thank you. Keep them coming. Also, please like and share, especially if you share outside of YouTube. The platform loves that, so thank you for doing so. If you want to support the channel in any other way, I'm going to leave a few links in the description. I got an Amazon wish list that is in Spanish. I'm sorry, but I live in Mexico. You can change the language there, so you can do that. And I got a few links for Latin America from Mercado Libre, so you can get yourself something. And I got a couple links for donations if you feel inclined. If not, just sharing, liking, commenting, and subscribing is enough. So thank you for the support. And until tomorrow's video, and until next time, bye.